So today we are going to be comparing the JJRC 8809 versus the Pinecone SG1803. So which one is actually the better Grand Cherokee at the 18 scale arena? Well, that's going to be something that we'll be finding out in this video. Let's go. So alright, so just to give you a quick comparison between those two is that the left side is going to be the Pinecone and the right side is going to be the JJRC, and you can see that they are basically identical. You're going to get the same body, same type of grille design. You will have the same kind of mirrors, foldable as well, also have mirrors in there. You will also have like the same type of tires, like even the back, the hooks whatsoever, and the most importantly, they both have the most ugly windshield wipers in the world. These are just going to be basically the same car as we are seeing it on the exterior side. So nothing here to compare. Now let's actually just look at the more important part. What is actually in there. So the electronics, they are also going to be mostly the same, and the most important thing that you have to know here is that the Pinecone one is actually going to be having a 2-speed machine gearbox, which you're going to see additional servo right here, and also you're going to have a gearbox mounted here. So that is also going to be the cause of why the battery is kind of mounting at the back right now. Instead of the JJRC, there is no going to be any mechanical gearbox. All you have is kind of ESC limited speed. So if you're just comparing raw spec-wise, it does seem that the Pinecone is actually giving you a much better truck compared to the JJRC. As for the specs on the bottom, you can see that everything is going to be the same type of suspension, which is going to be all spring shocks, same type of linkage gear, same type of axle, you know, everything's just identical. So nothing special to see here. Alright, so next let's look at the remote. So on the left is going to be the one from Pinecone, and the right is going to be one from JJRC. Just to compare these two quality wise, I would say that the JJRC is much more better compared to Pinecone. This one is just too simple and it's not a really good feel, and it's kind of very plasticky. It's kind of like, you know where they save their money from. For the JJRC, at least you get kind of like the soft kind of wheel here, and you will get a lot more control. You get to adjust more stuff here, so this is a much more superior remote compared to the Pinecone, and you will be also able to kind of do like throttle drive rates, which Pinecone doesn't have this. So you can see that if you turn the knob right here, you can make the car drive itself. As for Pinecone, there is just not going to be anything here. You only will be able to kind of like adjust your adjust your servo to the middle and kind of how much steering rate you want. The rest, I don't think there's going to be additional stuff that actually includes in here. Also, one thing to consider here is that the Pinecone will have a 2-speed gearbox that we will be able to like manually select from. You can just press the B button right here, and it's going to be engaging this gearbox right here. And as for the JJRC, there is not going to be any gearbox as we mentioned. However, you do have 3-speed control on the top. You will be able to adjust how much speed you wanted to go by ESC. Next, let's just test drive both of these to see how they actually work on the bench. Okay, so let's actually start by driving the Pinecone here. Alright, so one thing you're going to notice is that this is a super noisy ESC. Yeah, but it seems that it's offering pretty good performance. Let me just make sure that this is going to be the slow gear. Alright, so this is the slow gear, so good. This is what I want. Alright. Yeah, no problem. Really good flex. Alright, so next let's test out the JJRC. Slowest gear right now. Like slowest ESC gear. Something you can notice right away is that this rig is much more quieter compared to the Pinecone. Pinecone is just so noisy to a point that you cannot even like bear it, kind of. It's just too noisy. And also something I kind of notice is that the slow speed modulation seems to be a little bit better. It's much more smoother compared to the Pinecone. I think it's mainly about the ESC in this one. Alright, so next, after the bench test, next step we're just going to be testing against all the crawler course. I'm not going to be doing a lot of talking. I'll let you just look at it so you can kind of enjoy the truck, make your own conclusion of which one is better. Okay, starting with problem number 1. This is just going to be a bridge-like kind of obstacle. Should be very simple, and every truck should be able to do this. Alright, so the second problem is going to be RC stall, and it's going to be good to test to see how the brakes are going to be for each truck. Next is probably going to be the hardest obstacle, which is going to be the wire bridge. This will challenge your driving skill. Next is going to be our high and low bridge, and it's going to be perfect for us to test out the suspension system. So after testing the slow speed modulation, next let's test out to see which one actually is going to be the faster one. We are going to be lining them up at the line, and we're going to punch the throttle at the same time to see which one actually wins. You got it. You can see that the Pinecone is just significantly faster because of it has a 2-gear gearbox. Alright, so now let's talk about the most important question. So which one is actually better? So obviously, each of them has their weakness and like strength. But for me personally, I'm still picking the JJRC 8809. The reason as follows. Number one, it has a nicer body look. The Pinecone, the blue, is I just don't like it at all, so this is going to be a really deal breaker for me. And although the Pinecone does have a 2-speed gearbox, but for me personally, when you're driving it slow and trying to cross over obstacles, yeah, the noise of the motor and the ESC and you kind of like the driving ability is just not really pleasant. But the JJRC overall, when you're driving slow, it's quiet and it feels better when you're actually your hands is on the throttle. It actually gives you kind of like a better response when you're crossing over. However, yes, the JJRC is a much slower car, but you know, this is a crawler. It's not going to be a basher. And also you kind of have to remember you are not going to be driving this outdoors. Mainly this is going to be an indoor size car. So speed, I don't think is very important at this case. But if you're looking for the top speed and you want 2-speed gearbox and probably potentially modifying the ESC to kind of something else to kind of like improve the overall experience, then probably yes, I would say that the Pinecone might be worth it to consider, but make sure you probably get the black one because the blue in real life, it doesn't look good at all. So yep, that's going to be my conclusion. So if you find value in my videos and wanted to support me, please help me like and subscribe. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.